Thank you for staying with us. Tomorrow, please God, is World Poetry Day. And before we get into that and all the activities that we have for tomorrow, please God, we want to check in with the National Poetry Slam team. First Citizens National Poetry Slam is on. It's happening this year. It's exciting. The auditions happened and now we're moving into the semi-finals. The theme this year, Story to Stage. And joining us to talk more about this is Atiya Douglas, the First Citizens National Poetry Slam Project Manager, and Gillian Benjamin, who's the Head of Brand and Marketing Acting for Group Marketing and Communications at First Citizens. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Dominique. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So we're excited. These semis are coming up.
Yes? Definitely.
Right, good. So we know that this year the semis are going to be a part, as usual, the finals are part of the Bocas Lit Fest. And so we're happy to have back on board the Bocas Lit Fest in person and the finals at the end of it. Atiya, tell us about the significance of the message. The message behind the Bocas Lit Fest this year is "What's Your Story?" And we know that the hashtag that's being used for the slam is Story to Stage. Tell us about the theme and the significance of it.
Sure, certainly. So you are correct. We are returning to our home, which is at the closing event of the Bocas Lit Fest. And as we know, the Bocas Lit Fest is one of the leading literature organizations in Trinidad and Tobago and probably within the Caribbean, right? So it's only right that the National Poetry Slam is placed within the festival. The theme this year, "What's Your Story?" and then translating into the slam as "Story to Stage" is really important because the slam is actually going into its 11th year. And we really just want to celebrate going into that new decade, of course, with the support of First Citizens. We've been able to boast of the largest cash prize of $50,000. But it's really coming back to the root of the thing and reminding the poets, reminding the audience that the stories are what are important coming out of the slam. We know that we get a range of topics coming out from the poets. So it's really just celebrating the poets at the stage, celebrating 10 plus years now. You know, if you think about where we started in that small auditorium at USC, and we are now filling out Little Carib Theatre, Central Bank Auditorium, Napa. So those are some big stages. So it's really reminding the poets that your voice is important. Like, even if they didn't lose it, your voice is important. Your story matters. Come to the stage with your most authentic message. And, you know, and of course, there's the platform, so it's amplified on that platform.
Yes, nice. Ms. Benjamin, I want to speak to you about the importance of the slam and why it matters so much to First Citizens. You know, we would have just come out of a pandemic. You know, we would have been accustomed to having in-person competitions, in-person gatherings. And then, you know, we saw where the slam was being done virtually. But First Citizens maintained that commitment to the slam, to the organization, to the youth, the cause. Why is it so important to the organization, First Citizens?
So good morning, Dominique. That's a great question. It's absolutely important to us. For us, it's been a commitment for a number of years. This year, we will be celebrating our 30th anniversary. And for like a third of that, we've been committed to the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, to the great work that Bocas Lit puts out there, to the talent that comes to this national stage. Every year we go into this and we're just so enthused by the creativity, the talent, the passion, that people are literally have been telling their stories for so many years, and being that brave and authentic, to take Atiya's word, says a lot for us. It speaks to youth. It speaks to development. It speaks to their education. It speaks to when you're given an opportunity, what can come out from our people. And so even pandemic or not, we felt we needed to honor that commitment. We're proud that we honor that commitment, and we're proud and pleased that Bocas found a way to make it happen despite the challenges of not being able to be in person. But because we are an entity, First Citizens is an organization that corporate social responsibility is part of our DNA. It is what we do. So it's not something that we could have dropped off because of, you know, difficult circumstances.
Right.
It is something we wanted to continue to do despite whatever else was in the circumstance, despite the pandemic. And we were so pleased to see that poets turned up in their numbers, the quality of, you know, spoken word pieces that we heard despite the pandemic, and sometimes even because of it. So it was an easy commitment for us.
Yes, I think that as well too, sends a message of the importance and how necessary these spaces, right? Atiya, in terms of the semi-finals that are coming up, now we know there are 2 days for semi-finals. We have poets who have qualified for it, and then you have the wild card. Talk to us just about the process and what to expect at the semi-finals.
Oh gosh. To quote my media and marketing manager, it's going to be lit, right? It is going to be lit. Of course, we had about over 80 participants registering at the auditions phase, and out of that, 30 made it. We have 4 wildcards.
Okay.
And just to give some context about the wildcards, those would have been the participants who positioned at number 31 to 34. So they didn't quite make it into the semifinal round, but they have a chance to come to the semifinal, which is on March 25th and March 26th at Little Carib Theatre. They have a chance to come to that show, and they'll be split up. So it's 2 wildcards per round, and they'll be kind of vying for a spot to be judged as a semi-finalist.
Okay.
So it really comes down to the audience voting. So the audience have the opportunity to vote live at the venue, and the winner of that wildcard round will then be added to the semi-finalists to be judged. It's not automatic entry into the finals or anything. It's just a chance to be judged as a semi-finalist. So we are expecting a really action-packed show. We have seen veterans return to the stage. And of course, we have the hard hitters. We have a lot of new poets as well who have shown that they've paid attention over the years. They've come and they've proven themselves to be worthy contenders. So we expect 2 days of magnificent jam-packed poetry. The audience will not be disappointed when they come, whether it's 1 day, whether it's 2 days. Of course, we're encouraging both days.
Yes.
Tickets are available on the Bocas Lit Fest website, and it will be made available at the box office a bit later this week. But we're really looking forward to just having that space, of course, because we are returning to the live round at the semi-final stage as well. So the poets always love that live audience. You get the reaction. It's a totally different environment. So we are looking forward to a really jam-packed show.
Nice. Ms. Benjamin, to bring you in, the Bocas Lit Fest team is about telling your story, storytelling. How significant is the theme as it's being linked to your, First Citizens, to NGC as well? How significant is storytelling and telling your story to your organization?
Yeah. You would think that might be an odd space for a bank, but not for First Citizens. We live in a space of storytelling, believe it or not. We get the stories of when we finance someone's first car, or, getting the opportunity to get somebody to get their own home, your first bank account. Those are stories that we live every day in what we do. And so the story of having the opportunity to go on stage, to share your story, we believe in stories. First Citizens, we published the story of our banking history because we've done so much in the space of trying to work with our community, with society, and placing the opportunity for storytelling because we're all part of the same fabric that is our culture, and our culture is made up of individual and collective stories. And so we're very pleased to be part of that. We're very pleased that that's the theme for this year, because it's really quite apt, it's really quite appropriate to get people to tell their stories.
Yes. Atiya, before we wrap up, tell us where on social media persons can get more information. We know on the website, on Bocas' website, they can get the tickets. Where can they get more information? If they missed the auditions, they can go and rewatch it. Where can they find you all on social media?
Sure. So, of course, we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just at National Slam TT. One handle, and you'll find us there. Of course, you can also go to the Bocas Lit Fest Facebook and Instagram pages, and then you will get information as well on the Bocas Lit Fest website. So anywhere you can find us, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Bocas Lit Fest website, yeah?
Okay.
And I can endorse, you won't be disappointed. Fantastic.
Yes. I am looking forward to it as well. According to your team member, it will be lit. It sounds lit. All right, thank you, ladies, so much for joining us. We just spoke about the National Poetry Slam First Citizens National Poetry Slam competition. The semis are on this weekend. Go get your tickets, visit Bocas' website, or visit the page National Poetry Slam TT on Facebook or Instagram. We take a short break. When we come back, we have lots more in store for you. Stay with us.